Tonight we have a great show for you, so thanks so much for joining us. Firstly, we want to apologize for last week because our director Nate had some schoolwork to take care of instead. It's okay though, we forgive him. We're back tonight. So our guest tonight is actually our first female guest for Leader Night Live. You might recognize her from her antics on last weekend's Orchard Student Live in the Game Time segment. Please welcome Vangie.
Hello.
Welcome, Vangie. Thanks for joining us so much tonight.
Thank you for having me.
We have some questions for you.
Okay.
And if anybody out there has questions or comments for myself or Vangie, please feel free to post them in the YouTube link or the comment section down below. We'll get to know it later in the show. All right, Vangie. First and foremost, introduce yourself. Who are you? How long you've been a leader? How long you've been in ministry? All that kind of stuff.
Well, like I said, my name's Vangie Medina. I've been in youth ministry for a year now, and actually this is my first time serving in youth ministry is with Orchard students. So Courtney Seba recruited me. Thank you, Courtney, if you're watching. And I am the small group leader for 8th grade girls, along with Mia McMurray and Cassandra.
Very nice, 8th grade.
Yes.
I don't envy you. I'm not a big middle school fan myself. Middle school boys are monstrosities, so.
Oh, I love middle schoolers. They're just so full of life and opinions and a little bit of drama, and I love it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it because we need people like you to take care of that. So, what made you want to become a leader for the students?
Honestly, I remember how hard it was to be a middle schooler and a high schooler, actually, and serve God. And, I was in youth group when I was younger, and I had incredible youth group leaders, and we always had so much fun, and they had great messages, and they were really supportive, and they really took the time to get to know me. And I wasn't in the youth group very long because I think actually, I don't know if I moved away or if the church closed. One of the two happened, but man, the short period that I was with them, it was really meaningful and impactful. And I want to be able to do that too, for our kids, for our students.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's such an impactful moment to be able to do that, and just a good role to play to keep students know that they're cared for.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've heard that you've had a Bible for a very long time. Is this true? Yeah.
Yeah, I brought it with me. It's my Student Life Application Bible.
Wow.
This puppy, I'm not going to tell you how old it is. Well, I'll tell you, I got it when I was 16, and it's written with little testimony inserts from students.
That's
so
awesome.
High schoolers, middle schoolers, and how they relate to certain messages or certain struggles that they've had, but in like modern day real life situations. And even though I'm a 36-year-old woman now, this is still my main Bible. Like, I've received grown-up Bibles since this Bible, but I love this Bible so much because it speaks in a language that's very applicable to today, and it's very modern, and it's very relatable for not just students, but even adults.
Talk about something that applies to student ministry, first and foremost, but also you carry with you your whole life. It obviously has meaning, and the lessons you learn from that kind of stuff are very applicable.
Yes, I love this Bible. Like I said, I've received several adult Bibles, but I stick with my student Bible.
None as strong as the student one.
Yes.
I got you. Okay, so as a student in high school or middle school, was there one thing that was really, really embarrassing for you?
Yes, actually, I, in addition to the struggles of being a Christian while in middle school, I also had a lisp.
Oof.
I had trouble with my S's.
Brutal time.
Yeah, I got made fun of all the time for it. It was so bad. I had to go to speech therapy, and obviously it worked. I don't have the lisp anymore, but that was a rough couple of years, in middle school.
Middle school's bad enough.
Yeah, it was bad.
What grade were you in?
I was in 6th grade. So, I had it my whole life up until 6th grade, yeah.
So the start of middle school, that's a rough entryway.
It was.
Well, I'm glad it got better.
Yes.
You obviously went to speech therapy, like you said, and so.
It worked, yeah.
Can you still demonstrate the lisp for us?
You're gonna make me do it
Yes.
live?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the exercises I used to have to do was, I used to have to say, Sally sells seashells down by the seashore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hard enough sentence to say even without a lisp. But with my lisp, it sounded a little something like this. sells seashells down by the seashore. So I say it out the side of my mouth instead of the front of my mouth.
Tongue twister with a lisp.
It was so bad.
That's bad.
Yeah. It was rough
Well,
on
again,
ears.
glad it's fixed.
Thank you.
sound very good.
I'm glad too. So if anybody has a lisp, just know speech therapy works.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so I've heard you're a Colorado native, right? I am as well. It's a great state. I love it here as well.
Yes.
There's a lot of things to do here, like skiing, snowboarding, mountain climbing, lots of things to do in Denver.
Camping, fishing.
All sorts of things. Now, is there anything that you want to do in Colorado for a long time, but you've never been able to? Have you never done it?
Yes. One thing that a lot of my friends have done that I've always wanted to and I've never had the opportunity to is go horseback riding.
Oh.
Actually, I shouldn't say that I haven't had the opportunity. A lot of people have offered to take me. We've never really finalized plans, but I've never ridden a horse.
No.
And I cannot believe I'm still saying this because I think my first interest in riding a horse was in 4th grade.
It's been a long time.
Long time. So it was back in 1994. So I still have not ridden a horse.
Well, once life is a little more normal, we can probably get that taken care of.
Yeah, I'm gonna push it up my bucket list.
We have a question. We just got notification from Mason Dixon asking Vangie, what is your favorite candy?
First of all, I just want to say Mason already knows the answer to this question, but I'll go ahead and answer it for everybody else anyways. Because he usually buys it for me. But my favorite candy has been, for the last couple of years, berry Skittles. You know, the purple bag?
Yeah.
Because it has just the berry flavors. It doesn't have the yucky yellows and the forgettable greens and the ugly orange. It just has the pinks and the blues.
The good stuff.
Yeah, so that's, and we sell it here, when we have the Orchard Student Nights,
The candy bar, as they call it, or the candy corner.
So,
Excellent.
Mason bought me some a couple times, so I know
Excellent.
he
Well,
knew
thank
the
you,
answer.
Mason, for that question and for taking care of the candy needs for Vangie. All right, so now we're going to transition into what we call game time at Orchard Students, and we have a very special game for us tonight. It involves a little bit of a mess, so prepare yourself. We have this game called Pie in the Face.
Oh my god.
And there's some whipped cream here. Make sure it's ready to go.
I have mascara on,
That doesn't matter.
Can I just watch you guys? Just kidding.
And we have a spinner here with some numbers on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take turns spinning this spinner, and then whoever is sitting in this chair has to hit the counter however many times the number is.
Okay. Well, since you're already in the chair, I'll do the spinner.
That's okay. All right, I'll do the manly thing and go first.
Okay.
Fearless. All right.
All right. How many times are we gonna do this? How many pies in the face are we gonna do?
We'll see how this goes.
Oh, gosh.
That's how long it takes to get the first one. You might want to set it down.
All right.
It is a little easier.
I think. Okay. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Spitting. 3.
Okay. I'm gonna put some whipped cream on here. Do you want to put the whipped cream on there?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Oh goodness, if I could open this, that'd be great. There we go.
Okay. Shake it up.
Please be nice.
I mean, I had a lisp in middle school, so I feel like this is for everybody that made fun of me for having a lisp.
Okay. Here I go. Get
3,
right in
buddy.
here. Okay. 1. Closing the eyes. 2. 3.
Oh no! I did it all tall. Watch, it's gonna be on me.
All right, Vangie, your turn.
That is what they call karma. Ugh.
Close the eyes for sure. You don't want to get the whipped cream in the eye.
You know, when you sign up to do this show, they don't tell you what the game is up front.
All right.
Okay.
We're gonna see what the spinner is here. 5. I think I may have won this. We'll see what happens.
Oh my god, I'm so... Okay, I have to put my chin on this?
Yes.
Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my god.
Your turn.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Lord.
The spirit is with me. Okay.
Little short mini prayers work sometimes.
Yes.
If it be God's will. Okay, ready? All right.
Oh my goodness.
5.
We're losing whipped cream. I gotta go quick.
Oh gosh.
Oh, there it is.
That's, I almost kind of hoped it would have slapped you just a little
Well, we
bit.
missed a good portion of it. It's all right.
Yeah, you did. You got off easy.
I'm happy with this. This isn't too bad. I can handle it.
That was fun for me.
I'm glad you didn't have to do it.
Probably a little less fun for you.
It's all right. It could have been a lot worse. I think that was good.
All right.
We're gonna move this down here.
You still got some on your nose,
I
homie.
do. I might just leave it there. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
I'm gonna clean this table a little bit so there's
I don't know why I grabbed a napkin.
Okay.
For this sweat I was feeling when I thought it was going to get me.
Let me see how bad this is. Okay. All right, I'll leave a little bit on there, just for good measure.
You're a good
Alrighty.
sport.
So take me seriously, even with this.
I'll try really hard.
Delicious. All right. Back to my cards here. So we're in youth ministry, right? We're orchard students. We try to walk through life with students to make sure they know who Jesus is, make sure they know that Jesus loves them. And it's a really impactful job, right?
Yeah.
So getting real for a second here. You know, is there anything that really, your relationship with God in middle school and high school, is there any way that really affected your student life in any way?
Yeah, it had quite a big impact. Got tongue-tied there, sorry. When I was in middle school, everybody knew that my family went to church 3 times a week, so I got branded with the nickname Church. And even though they were like teasing me like lovingly, like as friends do, that always, having that label really followed me through high school. And then in high school, you know, despite being friends with some of the cool kids and some of the not cool kids, I was not included. Like whenever there was a party, I wasn't invited. And at the time, it hurt my feelings because I'm like, you know what? Just because I don't drink and I don't smoke doesn't mean that I don't want to hang out with my friends.
Right.
But looking back on it now, I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful that God, you know, maybe he put conviction in their heart to not invite me. Maybe they were trying to protect my faith. Or maybe, you know, God just didn't allow that to happen because maybe I wouldn't have had the strength to not give into that peer pressure. You know, maybe that peer pressure would have been so strong that I would have gave in and it would have created division between me and God and you know, my life serving God.
Yeah.
So looking back, I think my relationship with God, he was always protecting me, always protecting me. And at the time, I didn't always see it that way at the time. I felt like it was separating me from my friends. But the truth of the matter was, he was protecting me from the sin that I could have, you know, chosen to do.
He was drawing you closer to him.
He was, and I appreciate that so much more now because there are definitely mistakes that I've heard other people say that they've made in middle school or high school that some of those mistakes followed them, you know, into their adulthood. So I'm grateful that God kept me safe from that.
Yeah, you know, God's presence and the awareness of his presence in your life makes you make certain choices that can hurt or help, and most of the time, obviously, it's helpful. So you don't go down paths and make choices that aren't good for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's not to say I still didn't stumble here and there, you know, my entire life, but middle school and high school, I can honestly say that God kept me from that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. That's great to know.
Yeah,
That's a good lesson for everyone to know, especially middle schoolers and high schoolers too.
Yeah.
So that's all we have for tonight. I do want to thank you so much, Vangie, for joining us, and all those out there for watching in. We'll have the same Leader Night Live next week on Wednesday night at 7:30. And thanks again for joining us tonight, and feel free to tune in next week. We'll see you then.
Bye.